Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into KevinO'Leary's mindset, specifically his top 10 rules for success. We've gone through this YouTube video transcript where he lays it all out, and, well, our mission here is to pull out the core insights for you, give you that shortcut to understanding Mr. Wonderful. And, it often goes deeper than just making money. His idea of success, it's really about chasing freedom. So, yeah, expect some surprising stuff, some really practical wisdom.
Exactly. And I think it's important to note these aren't just rules for like Shark Tank hopefuls, They really offer pretty universal principles, stuff you can use for personal goals, professional challenges, all of it. He's got this unique mix, right? Sharp finance guy, but also this distinct personal philosophy. It's all about designing your life, really.
Okay, so let's unpack that foundation first. This idea that success isn't just, well, greed or piling up cash. It's about setting yourself free. He starts with rule number 1. Know when to take risks. And he gets specific, surprisingly specific, about a number.
Yeah, the magic number.
Right. $5 million invested smartly. He figures if you get that earning, say 6 or 7% a year, that's it. Financial independence. Forever. You can look after your family, yourself. And he stresses only after you've got that safety net, that untouchable base, should you really start risking other capital.
And what's fascinating there, I think, is how directly he ties money security to personal autonomy, freedom.
Yeah.
It's not about just getting more and more. It's reaching a point where, nobody else is calling the shots for you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that fits right into his rule number 3. Pursue freedom. He's really clear that the big pull of being an entrepreneur, it isn't greed. It's that personal freedom, being able to decide how you spend your time, what you actually want to do each day.
Okay, so you've got the financial base, you're chasing freedom. What's the engine then? What drives it? That takes us straight to rule number 2. Be passionate. O'Leary's pretty blunt here. You don't get rich chasing greed. He says you get rich because you're so passionate about what you're building, you're willing to work. And this is his quote, 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. So it's definitely not about kicking back once you make it. It's about that intense drive that comes from loving the work itself.
Right. And if you connect that, passion basically turns work into something.
Well,
yeah, so something you choose to do intensely. It blurs the lines almost.
Yeah.
And that intense self-motivated drive. That's the path to the freedom he keeps talking about, which flows right into rule number 9. Be committed.
Commitment.
Yeah, and he means total commitment. He calls it a lifestyle, a rocky road. You have to be all in because, look, it's a global competition. Your competitors, they're working like crazy. So it's not about quick wins. It's about sticking with it, fueled by that passion. Long-haul stuff.
Okay, so passion and commitment fuel the engine. Then he shifts to making smart choices, things that build value over time. Rule number 4, buy quality things. And he tells this great story about his mother. She wasn't rich but loved Chanel. Instead of lots of cheap clothes, she'd buy like 2 Chanel jackets a year. When she passed away, he said there was basically a cat fight for those jackets because, get this, they'd actually gone up in value significantly. Vintage Chanel.
Wow.
But it's bigger than just fancy clothes, right? It's a whole philosophy. He actually says, quite bluntly, buy good shit, buy less.
Okay.
The core idea being, quality stuff, whether it's sneakers, suits, watches, cars, even guitars, often holds its value or even appreciates, doesn't just become worthless.
And that suggests something deeper, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about physical things. It's like an investment mindset for your whole life. Maybe investing in quality experiences or education or even relationships, things where the value grows over time, just like those jackets. It's about long-term worth.
But, okay, how do you know which investments, which decisions are the right ones? For O'Leary, a lot comes down to intuition. Rule number 5, trust your gut. He tells this incredible story, his MBA graduation. Guest speaker comes up, stands there in silence for like a minute.
Okay.
Then tells the whole class, 2/3 of you, you're going to get chewed up and spit out. And your expensive MBA's worthless without real experience. And then, years later, O'Leary finds himself saying the exact same thing to Harvard MBAs. It's that street smarts, that experience, that matters most.
Yeah, the emphasis there is really on experience being the real equity you build up. Your gut feel, he says, it's like your radar. It's your DNA speaking to you and guides you based on everything you've learned, which ties straight into rule number 7 appreciate the lessons, especially from failure.
Oh, and he's definitely got stories there. Failure-wise, he talks about losing big time, shorting Yahoo, hundreds of thousands gone. A failed startup with some cable company lost $750,000 on that one. Other bad investments, lost $250K, then another $500K because he didn't trust his gut. And then, get this, even running for politician cost him millions, losing millions running for office.
Wow. That really drives home the point about learning from it.
Right. And the key thing he stresses isn't don't make mistakes. It's learn the lesson, distill it. He even says, I don't make the same mistakes anymore. I make new mistakes. It's about that constant learning cycle, right? That's vital for any long-term success, building that wisdom your gut uses.
Okay, so learn from experience. Now let's talk about actually doing things. Execution. Rule number 8. Set achievable goals. And here he shares some really interesting data from his own portfolio. He found most of his returns came from companies run by women.
Interesting. Why?
Well, the research he quotes showed women-led companies hit their quarterly sales targets 90% of the time. Men-led companies, only 65%. But the men usually set targets that were 30% higher. O'Leary calls it the testosterone stretch, basically setting goals that might be a bit unrealistic. And that brings up a really important point about company culture and sustainable growth. If you're always hitting your targets like those women-led companies were, it creates what he calls a sticky culture. People stay. Staff turnover goes down. Cash flow improves, he said, by 18% in struggling companies. It's about building a team that feels like it's winning.
Yeah, a winning team. And getting people, investors on board with that team. That leads to rule number 10, set priorities. He first focuses on what makes a killer pitch. Based on Shark Tank data from all over the world, like 42 countries, 3 things.
Okay, what are they?
First, articulate the opportunity. Fast, 90 seconds max, ideally 30. Second, executional skills. Can you actually do it? And interestingly, he likes entrepreneurs who failed before and learned.
Right, that experience thing again.
Exactly. And third, and this is huge for him, know your numbers. Market size, growth, margins, break even, competitors, all of it. He calls it the language of business and says you need it on the tip of your tongue. He even says, pretty harshly, if you don't know your numbers, you deserve to burn in hell.
Wow, strong words. But, he sees these not just as pitching tips. He calls them the definition of leadership, period. Doesn't matter if you're a teacher, politician, CEO. It's about clarity, competence, knowing your stuff cold. That's fundamental leadership.
And he lives this priority thing himself. He carries a tiny notebook and pen everywhere, always jotting notes. Every night, he figures out his priorities for the next day, picks the top 3, writes them down, sticks them on his mirror, and he does those 3 things before anything else. That level of discipline, something anyone could probably learn from.
For sure. That disciplined focus, it's just such a common thread you see with successful people across all sorts of fields, isn't it? Politician, teacher, CEO, whatever. Just relentlessly focusing on what actually moves the needle, making sure the important stuff gets done.
So wrapping this up, it's pretty clear KevinO'Leary's view isn't just get rich. It's really about getting free, personally, financially free through passion, total commitment, learning from every screw up, setting goals you can actually hit, and being ruthless about your priorities.
Yeah, exactly. And these aren't just, nice ideas. They're practical strategies, things born from decades of actually doing it. They're meant to help you, the listener, navigate your own path to whatever freedom means for you. It's a roadmap for life, really, not just business.
So maybe something to think about after this deep dive. How does this change your definition of winning? Is it just hitting numbers? Or is it about building a life where you're really in charge of your own time, your own direction? Maybe consider what's your freedom number and what's the quality item, tangible or not, that you're truly investing in for your future, something whose value will really grow.